How's it going, ladies and Bruce's? I'm Bobby Sixkilla. Welcome back to Zero Escape VLR. Now, we solved this puzzle in the last one. I've got my piece of paper here. We solved this puzzle in the last one, but we didn't find the secret file. And I thought we should probably look at that when we came back before we move on. It's this. We haven't done anything with this. It changed. It looks like a puzzle. Oh, fuck. It is. It's a silhouette puzzle called a tangram. Move or rotate the triangles or squares to get the shape you need. Press the rotate move button will allow you to switch between move and rotate mode. You can rotate a piece by dragging it while in rotation mode. I have no idea what that is. Let's give it a shot. I have no idea what that is. Let's do it. So I'm assuming we're making that parallelogram shape that was on the bottle. I think I wrote that down somewhere. I think. I did write it down somewhere. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do that though. How do we get into rotate mode? Let me see. Oh god, it's... Yeah. This could be tricky. Alright. So we basically need... How do they join? Do they just join or do they just sit? What's the deal with that? This sort of needs to be like that anyway. Like that sort of shape. Yeah, this sort of shape, except the other way around. Dude, this is going to be pretty challenging, I think. Alright, I think we're here. We're pretty much here. That's the shape we're going for. Right. Moving on. Now we can go to the next area. I actually got to write down the thing. Oh yeah, who's the man? That was amazing. How'd you do it? That puzzle was really hard. Well done, Sigma. That's pretty impressive. So what do we get? Look. There's something on the screen. IILP. What does that mean? That'll obviously go on a tablet. And then we'll get a code. Whew. Looks like it worked. Good job. That was awesome. The screen changed. Hit me. Okay, we got star, moon, star. Cool. Yep. Whatever, let's go put it into the machine. Okay. Star, moon, star. Done. Get our gold file, we move on, and we must be pretty close. Oh shit, I didn't restart the timer. We should be pretty close to the ending at that point. Whatever ending we're going to get to, if we get all the way to an ending without a continue button thing. You know how it do. You always get the to be continued, and we have to come back to it, like Insomnium files. Yeah, come on. Go for it. Alright, 3, 2, 1, as usual. We gotta do the countdown. Because we're not confident people. We really aren't. But that's okay. Okay. Was that our last chromatic door? That was, wasn't it? So now we have to just do the ambidex game until the end.
Damn it!
What's wrong?
I left something in the director's office.
What was it?
The picture. Ugh, how could I forget it?
Oh yeah, we must have set it down after using the face recognition thing.
Yeah, I'm going back. You two go on ahead to the warehouse.
Okay.
I want to come with you.
Me too.
Nah, that's fine. Why don't you head back to the warehouse?
I don't want you to get murdered.
The others are probably already waiting.
Alright. I'll see you two later then.
Right.
Bye, Mr. Sigma.
I'll watch them jog off towards the blue door. And then they were gone. I guess I should be getting back then. Guess so. Okie dokie. Getting somewhere. What's gonna happen now though? Play the Ambidex game over and over again? Till something happens? Who knows? Could get messy though. I stepped into the warehouse to find all the other teams already there. Kay and Luna, Fi and Clover, and Dio. The moment Dio spotted me, he dashed over to the rightmost AB room and slid his card through the reader.
An Ambidex gate has been opened.
Should have waited for Temioji.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
As he turned to look at me, I swore I saw a flash of a smug grin.
There. Happy?
No?
This time I waited for you to get back before I opened it. You see? I can be considerate.
No, you can't. But Temioji and Quark aren't here.
Yeah, where are they?
I guess they forgot something back in the room we found. They ran back to grab it real quick.
And they'll be here in a few minutes. No big deal.
God, that guy's a tosser. While we waited, we exchanged information about the rooms we'd investigated. Unfortunately, none of it seemed very useful. None of us had found anything, and we were no closer to unraveling any of the increasing number of mysteries we were faced with. With that discussion exhausted, we sat down to wait. Before long, 20 minutes had passed since Dio opened the door, and Temioji and Quark were nowhere in sight.
Don't you think they're taking a little long?
Yes, I'm getting worried. What if something happened to them?
I'll go have a look.
Then I shall accompany you.
Nah, I'll be fine by myself. It's not that far away.
Just don't look into the abyss too long, or you might become a monster.
I don't think... Okay. Look, I'm just going to the director's office. I'll be right back, no big deal. Right, see you guys later. I gave a quick goodbye wave and stepped out of the warehouse. Are we gonna get murdered while we're out there? There was a very final sort of a goodbye with everybody. Considering we're just walking off like 100 meters away to go and see what's happening. Might be a bit more than 100 meters. That's quite far. Honestly. We're in the director's office once again, but they're not here, I presume. We still haven't figured out the password for that computer either. Huh? That's odd. There's nobody here. What's that on the floor? Oh, there's the balloon. Picture's gone though. Temioji and Quark must have been here then. I laid out the floor B map. They must have taken the door that faces the warehouse. After that, they probably went through the warehouse and out the blue door to the elevator. Yeah, that's a much shorter route. On the other hand, I came through the red door, which is kind of the long way around. Huh. Looks like we managed to miss each other perfectly. Well, this is a huge waste of time. Shoot, might as well head back, I suppose. I packed up the map and was headed toward the door when... Huh? There was a light on, where there hadn't been a light before. Oh, the Roomba! What? Why is that thing on? We messed with it earlier, but nothing seemed to work. I felt a sudden wave of inexplicable nauseating dread. The light stared at me. I swallowed and edged cautiously toward it. The machine was in arm's reach now. I stretched my hand out toward it, slowly. Slowly. Who the hell is this?
You finally made it.
Who are you? No, you're...
I am Zero.
Oh, God.
I was the one who brought you here. You undoubtedly have as many questions for me as there are stars in the sky.
Probably not that many.
As you can see, however, this is only a recording. I will therefore be unable to directly answer any questions.
You could guess what some of my questions are, though, and answer them.
Ask if you wish, but I cannot respond.
Ugh. I considered taking a swing at him, but decided that was spectacularly futile and kept my bald fist at my side.
Now, where to begin?
Tell me the story, my man.
There are many things I wish to tell you, but unfortunately, our time is limited. As such, the information I can provide is also limited. I have chosen two things of great importance to tell you.
Okay.
First, I will tell you about termites.
They said Zero's one of us, though, and none of us is that guy. Except possibly K.
In retrospect, I suppose that's a rather odd thing to say. I imagine you look rather bewildered right now.
Look at my coffee. Just realized I've lost my coffee.
Perfectly understandable. The person who kidnapped you and threatened you with death is lecturing you about insects. I suspect it hardly seems fair. Nonetheless, this is very important. In a way, it will determine your fate.
Go on then, Zero.
So I ask that you listen carefully.
Okay.
Have you ever seen a termite mound?
Not in person, but I know of them, yeah.
They are splendid structures. Some might even call them works of art. Termites are natural architects, and their mounds are both structurally sound and make excellent use of space. So, are they following some sort of plan as they build? Are there termite blueprints detailing which room goes where?
No.
No, of course not. Each termite is simply an oblivious cog in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of termite DNA.
Right.
It is doubtful an individual termite has any idea what its contributions are helping to create. But a human does. We can appreciate the elegant forms of their alien cathedrals. We can see the simple beauty of their perfect functionality. We can understand the splendid planning of their structure. In other words, only an intelligence of a higher order can understand the beauty of what the termite builds. Now, consider humans. Why
Okay.
are we alive?
I don't think anybody knows the answer to that.
Why do we love and give birth? Why do we create? From where do our cultures spring? There are many theories, but no one knows the truth. We are oblivious cogs in a tremendous machine programmed by millions of years of human DNA.
Yep.
No doubt you see now what this analogy is supposed to illustrate.
Yes.
Yes, I mean to say humans are not different from termites. We trudge through our lives with no greater understanding of our ultimate goal. You might say we don't understand what we're building. Only an intelligence of a higher order than ours can understand what we're doing. Imagine how we might look to such an intelligence.
Like termites.
We may be building some structure so perfect and elegant, we can't even perceive it. Whatever it is, we've likely been building it on a dimension just above the ones we know since time immemorial. If we are like the termites, then what we've created is almost certainly something of tremendous beauty.
You should probably stop talking or I'm gonna have an existential crisis.
And you are about to catch a glimpse of it.
Ooh, okay.
Or have you already?
You mean when we remembered something from a different timeline? That was in this run, right?
Well, that's enough on that subject, I think. Consider what I've said.
Give me the password.
Now, let's move on to the second topic. It is somewhat more immediately meaningful to your life, and, in fact, the lives of several billion other people.
This is about Radical 6 then.
I realize this is rather sudden, but I have a password for you. It is the password to disarm the bomb, numbered 1.
Bomb?
Are you ready? I will only say this once, so pay close attention.
Got it. I'm gonna write it down.
Password to disarm the number 1 bomb is...
There you go.
BQZ RGJ DXR.
Got it. I had no idea what he was talking about. What bomb? Is he saying there were bombs too? If he guessed at my future confusion, he showed no sign of it.
That is the last of the information this message was meant to convey. Before I go, however, I have a warning. You cannot tell any of your companions what you heard or saw here.
Why not?
If you do, you will be penalized.
Oh, come on.
Immediately. I hope we will meet again someday. We would have much to discuss.
Yeah, I imagine. And if I actually meet you in person, I'll kick the shit out of you, boy. Wait. God damn it. You can't just spout all that crap and disappear. I found myself yelling at empty air. Damn you, Roomba! The hologram had disappeared. What kind of an idiot does he take me for? Termites? Other dimensions? How could that have anything to do with kidnapping us? Shit. I kicked out a nearby shelf.
10 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes. All players, please enter your votes.
So when we get a to be continued thing, that'll be a bomb. We have the password now. I don't think we've come to that at this stage, but I'm sure we'll come across it.
If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Yes, I know. Ah, crap, I need to get back. Not like there's any point staying here. I spun around and ran out of the room toward the warehouse.
Grandpa! Look! Mr. Sigma's back!
Took you long enough.
I've been looking for you, you bastard. Where are the others?
In the AB rooms.
They went in already?
Yep.
Why didn't you two? Have you been waiting for me?
Yeah! Grandpa said there was something he had to tell you before we voted, no matter what.
Oh, good. Oh?
Nothing that significant. Just wanted to tell you we're going to choose ally this round. That's it.
You had to tell me that no matter what? Seems kind of pointless. I mean, words are cheap. You can promise whatever you want.
True, but we've got something to back it up. Just hear me out.
Okay, go ahead.
Quark and I both have 8 BP. We're already on the home stretch. So what do we need to get to the magic number? Well, we need you to choose ally. If you do that, it doesn't really matter to us what we pick.
You get to 9 BP whether you got 2 or 3 points.
Exactly. That being the case, we don't have any reason to betray you. And if we both choose ally, we both gain points.
True, but you must have considered that I'll choose betray. That would mean you choose betray to protect yourselves.
But that's why we're telling you we won't choose betray.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Of course.
We trusted him last time and it worked out, but the first time he did betray us. So, I don't know. It's a bit iffy with this guy. With the kid here, it might sway his influence to be a bit gentler, a bit nicer. Maybe. Alright. Tell me one thing. How many points have we got? We've only got 3. Let's say we do this and we both ally. Everybody gets 2 points. That means you and Quark will have enough to leave. Which is great for you. But I'll be stuck with a measly 5. How do I know you aren't going to just open the number 9 door and leave? Us and the ledge.
I can guarantee it.
How?
I can give you my word. I will not open the number 9 door, even if I have enough points to do so. I swear it. We aren't going to abandon everybody else just so we can escape.
Yeah, he might not. He did last time, but last time we had a murderer on the loose, and Quark was sick. This time, there's no murderer. The only murderer was Alice, and that was a suicide, and Quark's healed. So, there's no real reason for him to run away.
I swear too. I promise.
I am inclined to believe him. Man, but I am a naive son of a bitch. You know that. So you got as a promise,
When I
huh?
make a promise, I keep it. Trust me.
Me too.
Please! You've got to trust us!
Alright, fine. I'll trust you.
2 minutes remain until Amberdeck's game polling closes.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I like to do that first anyway. Worst comes to worst, when I reload after they leave and we all die, I'll just betray.
We're counting on you, Sigma.
You gotta choose ally! You promised!
With that, they turned and ran into the AB room, second from the right. Well, yeah, give them the benefit of the doubt for now. Guess I should get moving. We're a solo this time. Nice not having someone breathe down our neck as we vote. Like Clover last time. I'll listen to anything you say if you vote betray. Yes, my naivety has bitten me in the ass multiple times.
1 minute
But
remains
the advantage is I can go
until
back to any
Amberdeck's
timeline and
game
fix it.
polling closes.
So it's all good. I had a decision to make. Should I trust Quark and Temioji? I couldn't believe they were telling the truth and still betray them. I could believe they were telling the truth and still betray them, sorry. That would bring my BP to 6, but it would ruin theirs. I'd be much closer to 9. And choosing betray would guarantee that they wouldn't try and escape without the rest of us. Betrayal seemed like the safe bet, but
Please!
even if they did leave, at least the kid would be okay, you
You've
know?
gotta trust us! You've gotta choose ally! You promised!
Temioji I could betray easily enough, but Quark? What the hell was I gonna do?
10 seconds
Ally?
remain until Amberdeck's game polling closes. 9, 8, 7,
Oh, that's right, we gotta leave it to the last second before we vote, right?
4,
That's
3,
the rule. That's the anime
2,
rule.
1.
Welcome to the anime rule. Oh, I'm gonna get burned for this one. Again.
Round 3 of the Amberdeck's game has been completed. Results will be displayed in the warehouse.
Good, good.
Thank you for your participation.
You're welcome.
Amberdeck's gates now opening.
Let's see what happens. Man, I wish I knew where my coffee was. I'm really sad without it. Where are you? Why did you leave me?
Results from round 3 of the Amberdeck's game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Come on, Temioji. I mean, he has to pick Ally. He can't pick Betray, because, I mean, he could, but... He actually did? Why would they do that? They were going to get there either way anyway. What the fuck? So they just betrayed for fun. Just for fun. Why did Luna and Clover betray Kay? That seems insane. That seems insane. Oh, that would have been Clover. See, I was going to say Luna would never do that, but Clover's already at 8. Although, again, she only needed 1 point to get to 9. I mean, yeah. Man, what is wrong with these people?
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet.
At least 3 people get to leave.
Updated bracelet points.
What was the point of them betraying us? Hey! What the hell, guys? Why'd you betray me?
Quark had nothing to do with this. I made the vote.
Grandpa.
Alright, fine. Why'd you break your promise, Timmy OG?
I only promised you one thing. We wouldn't open the number 9 door, even if we got 9 points.
What? So you're not gonna leave?
Not what I said. Of course we're going to leave.
What?
Look, see Clover over there?
What? Don't tell me. Man, what a scumbucket, man. I told you it would bite me in the ass. Always does. The only person we've ever shown compassion for and it hasn't bitten us in the ass so far is Luna. That's it.
That bitch!
Wait. Quark and Tenmyoji have...
The words were barely out of her mouth when Tenmyoji and Quark ran past.
No! God damn it!
Clover, are you really going to leave?
Well, yeah. Why else would I open the door?
But why?
I'm going to go call the others, so we can capture Zero Senior.
Tenmyoji, are you and Quark going too?
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Sorry, everybody.
So Sigma, happy? I kept my promise. Clover opened the door, not me.
Go fuck yourself. Like hell I'm happy. That's some shady shit, Tenmyoji.
You say so. I have to get out of here, and that's that. He's gotta pay for what he's done.
He?
Zero.
You mean you know who Zero Senior is?
Yeah. No point keeping it a secret now, I suppose.
Oh, here we go.
I know exactly who Zero Senior is.
What?
Tell us. Before we all die, please. Go.
The number 9 door has been opened. It will remain open for 9 seconds.
Let's go. Come on, guys. Time to move.
Right.
Oh, wait! This is for you, Mr. Sigma.
Quark held something out. I looked down to see 2 pieces of folded paper. What is this?
It's a letter. I wrote it in the director's office before the AB game. I wanted to tell you what kind of guy Grandpa is. So, read it, okay?
An arsehole, yeah, I know. He pressed it into my hand.
See you later, Mr. Sigma.
Go to hell, little kid. Then he turned and ran toward the door. Tenmyoji and Clover followed in his footsteps. I was so surprised by the letter, I didn't even try to stop them. Before I could think of anything to say.
See you.
Goodbye.
Let's read this letter. Oh, he didn't tell us who who Zero was. Son of a bitch. The one thing that could have been good from this.
The number 9 door.
Yes, I've heard
has
this spiel
closed.
before.
This ends the Nonary Game. Thank you for your participation. As the game is over, all doors other than the number 9 door have been unlocked. Escape is not possible. Please enjoy your stay.
You gonna read this letter?
Shit! They're gone.
All we can do now is hope they bring help back.
Indeed.
I agree.
They will not. Because there's no one left. It's the apocalypse. It's like Resident Evil 3 out there. I looked down at Quark's letter and slowly unfolded it. His handwriting was still slightly uneven, but he filled both pages with writing. I began to read. It was a really stormy day when he found me. He said the rain was coming down so hard it almost hurt. And somehow he managed to hear a baby crying. I guess I must have been crying pretty loud. He took me home and did his best to raise me, but he'd never been married or had a kid before, so I think it was really hard for him. He couldn't figure out how to mix the formula, so he was always carrying the directions around with him. Also, I guess I was a pretty picky eater, so if he didn't get the water to formula ratio just right, I wouldn't eat it. I guess I was kind of a pain, huh? But he didn't give up, and now here I am. When he found me, I was really, really small, and he was worried that I might not make it. That's why he named me Quark. A quark is a really, really small thing, and I was really, really small too. Grandpa didn't need to worry though, because it turned out that I was pretty tough. When I was 1, he'd forgotten I was sleeping in the bed of his truck, and drove off. I rolled out and went off the back, and I didn't even get scratched. I started walking when I was 2, and when he wasn't looking, I fell down the stairs. I didn't get hurt then either. When I was 3, I got really sick. I had a super high fever for a week, but eventually I got better. I guess you could say I'm pretty lucky. Anyway, I didn't really have any more accidents after that, and I was a pretty healthy kid. By the time I was 6, I started helping Grandpa out with his work. His job was to gather junk from abandoned buildings. Then he'd fix it up or pull out the useful parts and sell them. There were plenty of abandoned buildings, but finding good stuff in them was hard. You had to know which parts were useful, or you could end up wasting a bunch of time. Every time I'd find something, he'd explain to me what it was, or how it was supposed to work, how to fix it, all sorts of things. Usually though, I just wanted to finish up working so I could go to the theatre. The theatre came to our town once a week in a wagon. They'd show old news or movies. I went every single week, but Grandpa only went once in a while, and he'd only go weeks where they showed movies. Oh yeah, I didn't know that I'd been adopted until I was 7. One of the other kids on my block told me. I guess after Grandpa found me, they looked all over town and tried to find somebody who'd take me. The kid from my block actually had a mum, and he'd asked her if she would take me too. I gotta admit, I was pretty shocked when I heard that. There weren't a lot of kids with parents around, so hearing that someone lived with his actual mum was pretty impressive. I was also kind of surprised that Grandpa had tried to get someone else to take me. Did that mean he didn't want me? The kid who told me about Grandpa trying to get rid of me was a real jerk. He was totally spoiled and he bragged to everybody about how he had a mum. He liked to come up to me while I was working and say stuff like, "Must be hard not having a mother." It never bothered me before, but after I found out that Grandpa had adopted me, I started to think that maybe he really didn't want me. If I could work on my own, then he could get rid of me. I was scared to know the truth, so I never asked him. Then one day he took me to a bar in our neighborhood. During the day, of course. He went there sometimes to drink scotch, but I'd never gone before. When we got in, he just walked up to the counter with that grumpy look he has, and I thought, oh no, he's gonna make me work here. But I was wrong. I saw him pass something to the bartender, and then he picked me up and set me down on the stool next to the counter. The stool was pretty high, especially for a 7-year-old kid. My legs just dangled off of it. It seemed really, really high to me, and I was pretty nervous. Eventually, the bartender came back over with a glass of scotch and another big glass full of something else. As I looked closer, I realized that the second glass was full of some sort of brown liquid with a scoop of ice cream in it. It took me a minute to realize what it was. A root beer float. I'd never seen one before. I was so surprised. Root beer was even more expensive than the nicest alcohol in the bar. To me and the other kids, it seemed more like an urban legend than a real drink. But there it was, right in front of me. I stared at the float. I still wasn't sure it was real at that point, but then turned to look at Grandpa. He looked back at me. I didn't know what to do, so I turned to the bartender. He already turned and moved off, though, so I figured he must have put the glass down in front of me on purpose. It still didn't seem like it could be real. And I was just staring at it when Grandpa told me to hurry up and drink it, before the ice cream melted. His gruff voice sounded like an angel's. Is this really mine? He nodded. Words can't describe how awesome it was. I'd never tasted anything like root beer before. The creamy sweetness of the ice cream made my entire head feel light. I felt like the luckiest boy in the whole world. That's not an exaggeration, I really thought that. The root beer float was delicious, but what made me even happier was Grandpa. When I looked over at him, he was smiling. I know that's got to be hard for you to imagine, but he really was. Right then, I didn't care whether he just found me and adopted me or not. He bought me a root beer float. That made me way luckier than some kid who had a mother, but had never tasted root beer. Of course, after we left the bar, he was the first kid I bragged to. So Grandpa and I were doing pretty good. Until the fight. I was in a super bad mood that day. I tore one of my shoes that morning, and some old drunk guy had yelled at me. All the junk I found was totally useless. The day was almost over, and I was fed up. So I just grabbed some random trash and took it back to the house. When I showed what I'd found to Grandpa, he frowned. He started going through each thing I'd brought back, explaining why they were all useless. I got really mad and just yelled, "I don't care!" Then he got mad, and I couldn't take it anymore, so I ran away. I was pretty upset, and I started thinking that maybe Grandpa had only adopted me so that he could raise me to work and make money for him. After a while, I went and hid in an abandoned building, but by then I started to calm down and think that maybe I should go back and apologize. But it started raining pretty hard, though, so I decided I should wait for it to stop. But that was just an excuse. The truth was that I was nervous. Part of me knew I'd done something wrong, but I didn't want to admit it. The rain didn't stop, though. So I just sat there, staring out at the gloomy grey sky. I imagined Grandpa coming to get me. It kept raining all night, and he never showed up. I gave up waiting and decided it was time to go home. I was about halfway there when I heard somebody groaning. At first I thought I should just ignore it and not get involved, but I went over anyway and it was Grandpa. He was totally soaked, and I could tell right away that he'd been there for a really long time. I yelled and he opened his eyes a little bit. He smiled weakly and said he was glad I was safe. He spent all night out in the rain, looking for me. I felt awful. Grandpa had been out in the rain looking for me? So long that he'd collapsed. I was horrible. He'd heard me crying in the rain, but I hadn't heard him. As I ran to get the doctor, I promised whatever God might be listening that if they would only save Grandpa, I'd never ask for another root beer float ever again. He got a real bad fever and his temperature wouldn't go down for days. The doctor said that if it kept up, he'd die. If he died, then I'd be all alone. There wouldn't be anybody left to care about me. The thought of that happening terrified me. Fortunately, I must have passed some of my luck on to Grandpa, because a week later, his fever finally broke. I was glad he wasn't going to die, but I was also a little scared. What if he decided he didn't want a stupid kid like me around anymore? My plan was to apologize as soon as he woke up, but when the moment came, my brain just stopped. Grandpa started to talk, and it took me a minute to realize he was apologizing. I didn't know what to think. He explained that he was an old man, and that meant he was probably going to die sooner rather than later. He was strict with me because he wanted to make sure that I'd be able to make it on my own after he was gone. But maybe he'd been a little too strict. All of the things I'd worried about had been stupid and selfish. Grandpa cared about me a whole lot. He'd been worried when I ran off, and he'd gone out into the rain to look for me. I tried to apologize, but when I opened my mouth I just started crying. I don't think I've cried that much since I was a baby. But he just smiled and patted my head. I asked him if he'd ever regretted adopting me. His eyes got all wide and he said, "Of course not." He told me that he was looking for a really important lady, and because of that, he'd had to give up on pretty much everything else in his life. But when he took me in and started raising me, he felt like he'd gotten some of what he'd lost back. That was when I decided I'd stay with him forever, even if he said I couldn't. Ooh, this is turning into a long episode. Lots of backstory though for Temioji and Quark. Even though we had to get betrayed and dead for it. God damn it. We also got a bomb code, which I'm sure will come in handy at some stage. What's happening now? Oh, that's an ending. Alright, well, I'm gonna wrap this one up here. I think we've already done the credits, so we're just gonna leave it. When we come back, we'll be at the flowchart again, and we'll have to pick a new path. I assume we'll just go back to Temioji and Quark's AB game, and we'll betray them this time. Screw them. They screwed me over. I'm gonna screw them over this time and see what happens. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.